So Graham, Mobile World Congress, Barcelona again. What are the key things you're going to be looking at? I understand that policy control always been one of your key topics. Any particular areas you're looking at there?
Well, it's certainly going to be the area that's going to dominate my attention. But it's a big area. It's got lots of different angles. So I think in terms of sort of where I'll be looking specifically, policy and charging, policy and subscriber data management, RAN congestion control, which is not specifically policy, but it has quite a lot of overlap with policy, and there's a lot of interest in it. Analytics, again, it's its own topic, but it's very, very relevant to policy, and there's a lot of interest in using analytics tools to analyze all the information that's flowing through the policy architecture. So there's lots of different sort of angles to it.
Okay. In terms of the analytics, then, does that mean that we're going to see more of the bigger IT companies on the scene, maybe ones that haven't been so associated with telecom in the past?
That's a very interesting question. There are a lot of the telecom companies have analytics capabilities. Whether they have the ability to analyze kind of big data sets of the kind of things that IT companies do, like IBM, that's not so clear. So it does sort of bring them, potentially they could partner. Potentially it could bring them into conflict. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of the whole analytics story, I would say. Okay.
So in terms of RAN congestion, has that become a really hot topic again? It's been around for a couple of years.
No, it's definitely been revived, I would say, in the last year. The research I've done around policy, I've seen sort of a lot of interest in how you link policy to controlling congestion at the level of individual cells in real time, which is a very, very tough thing to do. So there are lots of questions there's no agreement about how to do it. There's no agreement about whether you can do it in real time, realistically.
Right.
There's no agreement on whether it's cost effective. So although there's lots of interest, there's lots of issues. So that, from a research point of view, that makes an interesting topic to explore.
Okay. And another topic that cropped up last year for the first time, but probably going to be hotter this year, diameter routing, again, closely related to policy. But is that something you're looking at?
Definitely. Okay. Again, it has a very strong kind of policy flavor to it, although it's broader than that. The diameter signaling protocol is absolutely central to LTE. So as LTE is deployed, they need it, and they need a way to manage all of the signaling traffic, which is going to be enormous. There's so many sessions, so many devices, they're growing and growing. So all of these elements are going to be connected using diameter. So you need a management philosophy, and that's an interesting area where there's a lot of potential revenue for vendors, and some jostling for position going on there about who has got the best kind of solution there.
Okay, excellent. And anything else that you think is going to be hot there, or are you managing any sessions at the show?
I'm not managing any sessions, but another area that I'll certainly come back to, although with kind of a heavy heart, is the whole area of applications, ecosystems, and third-party, and telcos working commercially with third-party providers of application and content. Something that I've been looking at on and off for 5 or 6 years, and not very much has happened. One has to say. We've seen the telcos being bypassed by Apple and its App Store and all that development. And the question is, can they reinsert themselves into that value chain? Kind of the jury's out on that one.
Okay. So the answer's probably no then.
The jury's out on that one.
Okay. All right, Graham, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.